I know it's embarrassing that I was at the cell phone store with my mom. That's embarrassing. But so is my sister, and so is both of my sisters. And they both have jobs, and one of them is rich. We're on the family plan. I think I might have even lost some cred over being that. Looks weak. Looks like weak in the family plan. She was trying to shift her plan to get a better policy, and so I needed to go with her so that she can get the account number to transfer. I mean, I don't want to talk crap or anything, but at some point I had my shit together. And it was right before COVID. I said COVID, and I allowed myself to use a colloquially use the term for the common cold that we've always had. It was always called coronavirus forever. I don't know how this shit got tricked into this, like almost like some fucking horse leech is telling you to stay indoors during the summertime, and then they're gonna check to see if you got COVID after you're vitamin D deficient. And they said that it's hiding in the corners like a Nike, like a fresh pair of Nikes in the corner. You got to hit it with a smudge stick. So I thought that was a whole bogus scam, and I was rewarded for thinking as such, because how the fuck did I become an overnight $500,000? But I knew that the liquidity was being pulled out at the same time that I was selling, and I knew that it was like, after that it took a dive. Like everything took a dive. All my NFTs, everything just took a dive. It's not the reason. I don't want to say I'm not broke, really. I'm not really actually broke. It's an illusion. I did something, I pulled a move, I did something, I don't want to say what that is, but I did something that you could say was not a waste with the investment. So that's all I want to really say, because I want to have a good story to tell, but I don't want to whip it out like that. I only have 2 good stories to tell. If I tell you, then I have to keep telling you the same story over and over again. I mean, I would say a lot of people only have 1 or 2, or none, or some. But that's not really important. Is to focus on how many people have none. It's like, how can you pull some shit off like that again? It's not going to come the same way that it looked the last time. And at that time, I was trying to get together with moms, because she had said to me something about $40,000 that in the IRS, and she was in a pickle or something. It's like, like I was trying to help her, but her husband didn't allow me to help her. She didn't really want to get together, and she thought I pulled something illegal. So she didn't want to be connected with my crypto, which actually is understandable. Even if it seemed like a lot, I'm telling her what to invest in, even if it's free, and you're still being kind of an asshole. So it's like, this is maybe, she said, I'm not going to go that route. And at one point in time, I had 5 Bitcoin, okay? So if you evaluate it now, then you would say, what the fuck crazy shit did you do? But I'm not bitter, and I'm not sour, and that's the only thing, and I don't have to explain every fucking thing. And if I would have gone with my strategy, the enemy of strategy is success, I would have ended up with a bunch of fucking almost worthless NFTs. So whatever I did, you can imagine that I'm happy with it, that I diversified my strategy, even if it's not my strategy. Somebody else did it better with the strategy. Then it actually counted. Like, I just made something count. You don't know if you're going to make something count, because a lot of people that are rich don't have a good story to tell. 1 or 2. You know that when your old folks and your elders and everything, they always tell the same story. Like, you get together, even encourage them. At some point when you get together and it's like, hey, remember that story that you always tell? Can you tell it again? You do that to your old folks. You know that we only have 1 or 2 things that we ever learn or that you can perform at a high level. You always know that. I don't mean to like say you're limited or anything. The sky's the limit, obviously. It's just at the time she was spooked, and I couldn't help her with the ways that I knew how. And I do have a couple of disabilities that are compounding. Then there's actual reason why, even if I could even hold my own in a fight, that you can imagine that I don't, that I have something that's causing me from being able to do certain like jobs that I previously did. So I'm waiting for a disability, but I'm also looking for jobs. And it's like, I don't know, it's kind of like, I should be smart enough to stream and figure out how to monetize an account, because there's nothing so sinister that you can blame China that I can't fucking come up with a monetizable stream. It's just that I'm looking for whatever it is that creates content to be something that can keep like keep not interest but imagination, or something like it can keep something that's going vibing, that's creative, and it can sustain that. I don't know what that is. And I do have a couple NFTs that aren't all the way eliminated. And I have a couple cryptos, but I fucking don't ever research them. I just decided just to let it sit there on Ethereum, on the Ethereum network. It's like my Ledger Nano devices, at one point in time, I have like several. They don't even light up when you plug them in. I gotta buy all new devices, but at least I have, whatever fucking codes or whatever shit. Those private keys shits. Whatever little quant firm supply chain coins and shit that are on there. They're always like, languishing. But I think it's like something could happen with one of my random NFTs that I thought I was being highly irresponsible. The only one that paid off was one that I was afraid that I was just had too much. It's like, why do I have too much of this shit? And that's the one that worked, and it was just fucking random. It was just luck, and it's unexplainable. It's like, it seemed like only the spirit allowed me to do something that I could say I contributed. I feel a little better. So it's like, and then right after that, even though it's impossible for you to be an asshole with the decision that you made, it's like pressure, and you could have done more, and you got to be upset, and it's like something convince you something that you're not supposed to be happy with that, and like all of a sudden, I wish anybody would challenge me to be lazy. I just couldn't. There's some hustles that are just really hard, like working the meat packing, like being on a noisy, loud assembly line is really, like for lengthy periods. But I did sell Kirby vacuums for like 14, 16 hours a day, or I did like demonstrations inside Costco, where they transfer you all over the map, and you have to take BART and plan your bus and BART schedule, and you end up getting like 3 hours of sleep. It's really torturous. So you can't ever say I'm lazy, because some of my vacations have been more pain than pleasure. You can't ever say I'm lazy. There's something else going on that is lazy, that's not really being lazy. It's just like an enthusiasm gap. Until that's a sob story and you start crying. Because really, you can only fault yourself for not allocating it, But I mean, lazy is ridiculous. Like, you could save so much more energy if you didn't think escapism was a viable option. And then you couldn't say I was lazy.